we're going to the Filing Shrine because of my super sneaky tactic, what I got. Yeah, I've got to the point in Dark Souls where I was giving myself all sorts of ridiculous runs. Like I started a no summon run. I started a oh jeez. I started what I call the fat roll run, which is where I can only ever have the fat roll, which means like over 50% of equipment load. So I'm just a pure tank, which is good in some situations and a real drawback in others. Because with some bosses, they just do so much damage or they're so crazy, you just want to dodge as many things as possible. I still say I prefer, you know, the best build is some sort of in-between, who just exploits whatever you can use, but tank is the good starter tactic, because it's slower, and it gives you more room for error because you have more health and stuff. But I think once you know what you're doing, I do prefer Dex. Now, thank you, person who wished me luck. Here is the fucking sorcerer, and because I have enough intelligence, he's gonna be like, yeah, sure, I can teach you some spells, because you're so badass. Sure. I like your hat, by the way. It's a fancy hat. Yes, and all of this shit right here. Soul Arrow. Getting some kind of Soul Arrow spell can make certain areas a lot less hassle. But what we really want is this Poppy Magic Weapon. All this does is buff your weapon with magic, and it does a you know, just straight up damage increase. I'm going to show you this. I have to set the bonfire to attune my magic. But the real great thing about it is a lot of enemies, if they're resistant to physical damage, they may still be vulnerable to magic damage. So, wherever the hell it is, got so much crap in here because I didn't bother buying the box to store stuff in. Here we go. Oh, behold, super blue sword of greatness. So yeah, this gives you more damage for your weapon for a short time. But on top of that, it isn't just a straight damage increase. It's magic damage, which means that even if an enemy is causing you trouble, they may be vulnerable to magic. And there you go. And there's levels of magic weapon, but even the basic one can just make certain boss fights that little bit easier if you're having trouble. All these little tactics, they're not hard to figure out if you just experiment and try things out. Don't be afraid to spend a few souls on something you're not sure will pay back later. Have a drink of water when your throat gets too dry to talk. That sort of thing. Yes. I haven't been leveling up much because I realised that... oh god, I'm fat rolling. I realised that just upgrading my equipment was the more direct way to improve my chances of survival. Which is another thing you need to learn, is that upgrades have a more direct effect on your ability, but... obviously, if you put all of your points and items into upgrading one item, and it turns out you find a better item later, then you pretty much just wasted a bunch of useful resources. So the trick is to know, for instance, if you want to use the Uchi, by all means, max that shit out, because it will never betray you. I've run into a bit of a problem now, because I'm fat rolling. Yeah, I'm still fat rolling. In order to use the Sorcerer's Catalyst, I need to lose some weight. That one. There you go. That's done it. What am I wearing? A bunch of stuff. So, the question becomes now, where do we go? Now I've got my other secret weapon. I feel I've rambled enough for this episode, so I want to go straight and do a boss fight. Yeah, we're going to do a boss fight. Now, the boss I'm going to do, he's not very hard, but there is a certain thing about him right at the start of the fight, which I consider kinda bullshit. It's kinda cheap bollocks, is all I'm going to say. You'll see what I mean in a moment, and I'll talk about it at some length, but it's one of the few times in Dark Souls I think... You know what, I think I might... I'm tempted... It's one of the few times in Dark Souls where I think you could die due to no fault of your own. You're just thrust into a situation where you do not have time to figure out what's going on, and so it's almost pure luck. It's just a test of how quickly you can adapt to an unfair situation. You know, most of the times in Dark Souls you get an idea of what you're going into if you just approach it cautiously, but when you go through a boss door, things are just thrown at you, and if you've never seen the area before, I've already kind of talked about what I said I was going to wait until I was talking about. Whatever! There you go. You'll notice I'm going back through this area, but it is not very far, it's just this little distance, and then there'll be the bloody dogs. These are like worse versions of the rats, because they can just stun lock you while they're poisoning you. Yeah, and they just fly out of nowhere, and nonsense. Okay, I'm definitely going to want to top my health up before I go through here. And, I'm not going to lie, this could be when I die. That rhymed. I'm quite confident, but if I'm going to die, it's probably going to be in the first few seconds, and now my magic weapon's going, so let's just go! Hello, Crapra demon! Oh dear god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, okay, we made it through the meat grinder. The worst part's over. Oh. Okay, that's one dog. Oh, I can block his attacks, I think. Yeah, I've got enough poise. Where's the other dog? There's the other dog. Get the other dog. Oh, fucking. This is what I hate about this fight. You go through this door, and you're suddenly thrust into this area you've never seen before. And, oh! No. Oh, back away. Okay. Oh, right. Oh. I managed to roll repeatedly into the wall there. I can't really excuse that. Oh. You're thrust into this area you've never seen before. You can't know what's coming. And this bloody guy comes at you, but what tends to happen, if you're not quick, is the dogs pin you in the doorway, and while you're struggling to kill or get around them, this guy runs in and one-shots you with his giant machetes. And, you know, you learn that after the first time, but the first time you are quite likely to die, and I don't think it's really your fault. You know, sure you could react and get out of the way, but it is quite sudden. Oh. Anyway, the trick for this fight is be a cheap bastard, because he's a cheap bastard, so why not? Freaking goat demon, chupacabra bastard. Yeah, you know, this is one of those fights. Oh, I've been stunned. Oh. This is why it's good to be a mixed character. Just get the heater shield, and you can still dodge quite a few attacks. Oh. Wait. Yeah, but the cheap bastard tactic is to just use the stairs against him. Come on. Down you get, fatty. Yeah. I love how it doesn't really look like I should be able to walk over here. Yeah, you kind of walk along that tree branch, but it doesn't look right. Just get down. Get down. Thank you. Oh, my magic weapon's run out now, you bastard. Let's just finish you off. Hey! Boss! Beaten! I shrug to mock you! Everyone has their distinctive Dark Souls post-boss signature gesture. Mine is the shrug. I got quite a few souls from him. Thank you, crappy boss. Yeah, and I think to follow that up, we should immediately go and do the boss I'm more scared of. Hooray! But I'm less scared of him now that, given how well that went, there was pretty much only one moment there where I suddenly went, shit! I'm pretty confident I can take out the other boss. Oh. Now, what he actually gave me, I'll just quickly explain this, is the key down here, which is kind of the next way to go. But really, I want to beat the other boss before I go down there, and after all my faffing around for 12 episodes, you probably want to see me just kill a bunch of bosses. I forgot that this guy was dead, so I'm like, oh, you're dead, okay. Oh, that was another thing about Dark Souls 2. That really quite strange decision that most enemies in Dark Souls 2 spawn 12 times and then they stop spawning unless you use an item that basically upgrades their power to the next New Game Plus level. And that's interesting. But it kind of creates the weird problem where you can kind of, if you're having trouble with an area, you don't necessarily have to learn it and get good at it. You can just brute force your way through the area until you've killed everything 12 times. You know, it kind of just creates a new kind of grinding in what seemed like an attempt at mitigating grinding in farming, but You may have noticed at one point during that fight, I almost got myself killed very stupidly by falling off the ledge. Oh, because I've got so much humanity, they keep dropping incredibly crap items I'm never going to use, and I don't even have the bottomless box, so I can't just store them. I killed the NPC who would sell that. Oh dear. Ah, right. Now here's the question, do I want to spend my souls on leveling up? No, I think I'll spend them on the blacksmith, because I'm still convinced that snapping my fingers to remind myself upgrading weapons and stuff is the way to go. This chainmail is probably going to be the stuff I'll be wearing for a long time. Probably until I die, let's be honest. Oh, NPCs. Exciting, but I can't be bothered to talk to them, so fuck them! Fuck them! Up the arse! Did I get this thing up here? Yes, I did. Go me, I often forget about that. Yes. I do have this problem with Dark Souls. I've played through some areas so many times. I'll be running through with a character and I'm like, have I been here before? Or am I thinking of my other character I was playing the other day? So I genuinely won't be sure, so I'll go to the effort of going there just to be sure I've got something. Fun. I'm quite enjoying that, because of the whole permadeath thing, I don't have to worry. Oh god, I should have used that humanity. Yeah, I can just casually spam all these items, because if it doesn't matter if I die, because that will be the end of the playthrough if I die, so I may as well just use all my items. And humanity actually does have some sort of effect on your stats, so by using all my humanity I am actually increasing my odds of survival slightly, not to mention finding stuff as well. Don't know why I stopped to kill these guys since they're no threat. Oh, they do occasionally drop Titanite. Hey, Titanite, there you go. Save me 800 quid. The bloody economy of Lord Ran is terrible. Titanite costs 800 quid. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Running back and forth to get to this blacksmith does occasionally get grating. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing about Dark Souls 2. It's gonna sound like I hate Dark Souls 2 just because I have so many criticisms of it, but I don't. It's a great game. It's just not quite as good. And I think one of the main problems is, I actually wrote a review of Dark Souls 2 on theevansreview.com, where I write weekly articles now. Go read that. But, one of my main problems with Dark Souls 2 is it feels like they tried to make this big game full of things, and so they couldn't focus on many of the things with much effort. So, that's Cameo in the top right there, by the way. You know who you are. And, Dark Souls 1 is already a big game, so it feels even weirder that they thought, let's make an even bigger game! And there's stuff like, how... what do you call it? You get the warping system right from the beginning now in Dark Souls 2. And that's handy, but it creates the problem where it makes areas incredibly hard to remember, because everything kind of blurs together, because you almost never stay in one place long enough for it to become memorable. And you also lose those moments when you're like, oh dang, I'm stuck down here, I have to get all the way over there, going backwards through a hard area. That's crazy! Which is one problem with the catacomb approach that I mentioned earlier. Go down to the catacombs to get a good item, you can easily get stuck down there, because it can take some doing to get out again. What am I wearing? Chain leggings. Just buy a few of them. Usually I'd be tempted to just turn off the recording and do this without you being here, but hey, you don't want to miss a moment of shit. And some of you may also be suspicious I've been doing sneaky shit by turning the camera off. No! This is total legit. I have not died at all on this run. If I had, I would have told you, because that would have been just bloody, He even just said, don't get yourself killed. Neither of us wants to see you end this series. Well, thank you. Thank you, what's your name? I've forgotten your name. It's something of a story, I think. I've already forgotten.